live from the Dunkin Latte Lounge.
Hey, yo, what's going on? I'm Josh Martinez in our iHeartRadio Z100 Dunkin Lounge with my guest. Now, it's two people, right? So I have the privilege of having two guests with us. And I want to make sure I get the name right? We'll start with women. ILana?
ILana, yeah. So I'm glad you said it that way because it does start with an I, and so
yeah, hammer it home.
That works.
And Alex Kinsey, hello, sir.
How's it going, Josh? Good to see you, man.
Likewise. I will say what threw me off about ILana, right? That's what I said.
Sure.
Is like anytime you see the lowercase I from a branding standpoint, it's like iPhone.
Right.
iMac.
Oh, that's true. I never thought about that.
That's why I allow it. ILana, I allow. It's just, and I do that because in so many fonts, like the I and the L are the same thing. So I get like Spanish speakers call me Yana. Like I'll get, Lana. I'll get, Lena. So I'm like lowercase I, capital L. Those are two different
Make sure everyone
letters.
knows.
But you know what? To me, like I said, I see it from branding. And how crazy is it from a branding standpoint that the moment I saw a human being's name, it directly like assimilated with an electronic device.
It's actually the newest humanoid drone from Apple. She's the ILana, the newest version.
Yeah.
It's the V1. It's the V1.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how did you guys come together? Let's talk about that. How did you guys form this bond and musical relationship?
Man, so we actually went to college together, sort of, kind of. Like we went to the same college at the same time.
We actually lived in the same dorm building when we were freshmen, but did not really know each other or hang out.
Yeah.
Like, we knew of each other because we both did music.
And we had some mutual friends. Like my roommate and her worked really closely together at the label for our college.
Yeah, we had a student-run record label, and I was more on the business side. I was managing my freshman year, and then by my junior year, I was vice president of the label. And that mutual friend he was talking about actually signed Alex to the label back in 2011 or something.
Yeah, like 2011. Yeah. And then she moved out to California.
Yeah, fast forward 6 years later.
Like 5-6 years later, and we just realized that we wrote really well together. He
was like one of the first writing sessions I took out here, and then we just hit it off, and we kept writing songs, and
here we are. Another 5 years.
Yeah.
So let's give a free plug to that college you went to. What school was that?
That was FAU. Go Owls. I don't know.
Florida Atlantic University.
Yeah,
so you're telling this story, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe that it's like an NYU Tisch school, or it's a Cal Berkeley. Or I know there's like some popular school in like the Boston area or whatever that's for music. But
oh no,
Florida Atlantic.
Boca Raton, Florida.
I don't read music. I just play by the seat of my pants, man.
I went to school for music. He did other things.
I dropped out.
I gotta say, by the way, college dropout as well. Shout out to
nice.
I will say, Florida Atlantic has some dope football jerseys.
They do. That is true. We were there right when they built the brand new stadium. Like they built it after I had gotten there, but before I left. Yeah. And it was, oh my God, dude, it was so much fun going to those games.
I mean, we lost a lot.
We lost every game, but yeah.
So you get together, you start working, and I'll start with you, Alex. What made you realize, like, oh, this is a different situation from previous writing partners?
There was just something about like how carefree it all was. Like we were just writing to have fun. Like there was no purpose behind it. Like we weren't writing for like this. I mean, obviously the goal is to be able to go on tours and go play music for everyone, but we weren't like writing with this understanding of like, okay, everything we're going to write is going to be under scrutiny and discretion for, people are going to be, we're just writing because it was fun and because it was accessible and like you were around and I was around and we had studios at our discretion. And it just, I don't know, I think that the lack of pressure and the lack of it being difficult was sort of the very first thing I was like, oh man, this is how writing should be.
Yeah. And we never sat down like, let's write for the Alex Kinsey project, or let's write for the Botox project, or let's write for ILana Armida's project, or let's write for we always sat down, let's just make, the best song we can make.
We're bored,
let's
write music. Yeah.
Like, what are you going through? Like, whatever it was, let's just make the best song we can. And it turned into a lot of songs for other people. It turned into a lot of his first solo projects.
Now it's turned into your
some of my
EP,
my stuff, and it's cool. It's been a really cool writing experience.
I recently had Benny Blanco in studio and he talked about that he almost exclusively works with friends. And I guess after a certain point, when you make that much money, you can kind of
yeah, you can do it.
Your friends, when your friends start becoming, Lil Dicky and Justin Timberlake, I guess it's a little different of a story. No, I think that's the trick though.
And that was going to bring me to my next point of he kind of talked about how he only wants to work with people that he knows and has a relationship with, because he knows, like, hey, there's no pressure when we go into the studio. And he told the story about how even when he and like Ed Sheeran, for example, were in the back of his tour bus writing Love Yourself, Ed Sheeran was like, I don't want to talk about me. I don't want to write another love song. I don't want to write. And literally the first words of the song were Ed just saying, like, I don't want to write another song.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, when you guys were speaking, that immediately came to mind, because I feel like, and you guys can agree or disagree with me, I think the most important thing for any writing session is the comfort between the writers all together.
Yeah, because
totally.
I mean, songwriting is a very vulnerable thing, right? When you think about it, it's like, hey, what's the thing that's on you, like the heaviest on you right now that you like have to talk about? And a lot of the times we're getting in sessions with strangers. People are coming to our studio, and like we really strive for it to feel like that, to make the other person feel comfortable too, and like make the whole energy of the room feel like we've known each other for forever, because it is vulnerable, and you have to create the safe space to be like, hey, this is it. Even if we're writing about, most of our songs are about drinking and dancing and whatever, well, mine are
all of yours
partying and drinking and being in toxic relationships or whatever. Being able to just even like share those melodic ideas, or like, hey, like, dare to be stupid, but this is, I have this idea. Like, that's a very vulnerable thing to just like say out loud, or create out loud what it is, in your head.
Absolutely.
And
I think when you walk into a session, like, let's say we've got a 6-hour session ahead of us, and I don't know the person that I'm writing with, at least 2 of those hours are spent figuring out who this person is and getting to know each other and getting comfortable and all that. So it's like, instead of wasting a bunch of time learning about someone and getting to know them and then figuring out how to write together, like, it's nice when you have someone come in that how the session's going to go. Like, when you meet someone that you write really well with, it's sick, because then that the next 4 hours, the next 6 hours, or however long you have for the session, they're going to be spent writing music. They're going to be spent figuring out the song, not figuring out the relationship or who you are, all that stuff.
But no, I totally agree. Like, working with friends is the best way to do it. And like building a collective of artists and writers and producers and creatives to help support each other, not just in the writing room, but after, when the song's coming out.
Yeah, totally. That's a big part that I don't ever think about too, is that when you write songs with friends, you have a built-in sort of promotional like base, because all your friends are then posting about your song because they wrote on it. So that's a good point to think about that.
So I have 2 questions. The first one, do you guys remember the first time you heard a song that you wrote, a song that you helped put together, a song you were in the studio for, or maybe a song of yours, the first time you heard it on the radio? Spontaneously, by the way. I'm not talking about no random ass, hey, they're gonna play it at 9:00, tune in.
Yeah. You know what, dude? I've never spontaneously heard it. I know that I've had some songs played, and I've had radio stations like play them. Hey, we're gonna play it at 9:00, tune in. And I've like, pretended like I just happened to stumble upon it, because social media is king. But no, I've never just stumbled upon it, which that's still a huge goal. I can't wait for that.
I did, and it was a long time ago. I was in South Florida. It was when I was in college, and I put out an EP of songs, and this radio station, I actually didn't hear it. My mom called me. She's like, put on whatever the station was, and it wasn't even like a pop radio station. It was like a local, I think it was more like rock stuff. And they're like,
really?
we're like, we just found this girl who's from Bradenton, Florida, who's making like pop, like, contemporary pop music. And we think she's dope. It was actually, do you remember Bubba the Love Sponge?
Yeah.
It was Bubba the Love Sponge played my song.
What?
By the way, Alex is like, what? That's a big fucking...
Why is that
just
happening?
popped back into my head. Yeah. Bubba the Love Sponge was like the first one to play my song on the radio, which is like, he's so problematic.
No wonder you
but
haven't
also
told me
just
that
like,
before.
I'm like, what the heck? But that was pretty cool and random.
not only did I just learn something new, but literally the man next to you just learned something.
Right.
He just was shocked. He's like, what?
Bubba loves Sponge. Yeah.
That's some, Florida.
Yeah, that's some Florida stuff.
That is a massive name in the radio community.
Yeah.
Good or bad, names are names.
Right.
Pretty big deal. Have you ever been in a situation where your song has popped up at like a bar or something, somebody played it, or anything like that?
So one of our really like our best friends in LA, one of our mutual best friends owns a bar right in West Hollywood. It's an awesome bar. It's called the Bayou. Quick shout out to Matt's bar. If you're ever in Hollywood, you want to go. It's a great dive bar. But every time we go, and I mean every time, he plays our music and doesn't ever tell us, and then turns the music all the way up. And I mean, it's a nightmare, honestly, half the time, because then he gets everyone's attention. He's like, "Oh, there's my buddies," and I'm like, "No, dude, please, I just want to drink." But yeah, that every time we go to the Bayou, we always get a decent response. But the Bayou is without fail our best location for live music.
I agree.
I hung out with Logan Henderson of Big Time Rush.
Oh yeah.
And someone realized who he was and played the intro song to the TV show on the
That's funny.
And that to me, just like his reaction of like stopping mid drink and looking at me to realize, like, and he was like, I wasn't a Big Time Rush fan, so I don't know what's happening. So I'm like, yo, you good? Like the song, like, I don't know. I grew up poor on cable.
Can't help you.
Sorry, dude.
Then he in, but I just love talking to artists about like those random moments when the song pops up, where like you said, it's so uncomfortable. Like to go back to Benny Blanco, he mentioned how uncomfortable it is to hear his own music or play his own music for people, which is weird. He writes like the biggest songs in the last 20 years. How's the comfort level between you guys when you're presenting music to the people closest to you?
We just had a little bit of an intimate listening party last night when we released the EPs, and we had some friends come over.
Just a few close friends. It wasn't like a
party. And at first I was like, "Ooh, this is awkward." Like I listened to my project by myself, and I'm like,
"Well, like we listened to it together because we're analyzing it too, you know."
And I'm proud of it, and I decided to put it out. So like I love the songs, but then all of a sudden I'm in a room full of people that are just like sitting and listening to them, and I'm like, yeah, so, and I'm like talking over them, like trying to like distract people and stuff.
I had like Mario
Kart.
All right, we were all playing Mario Kart while the albums were playing, because I'm like, I don't want to have to make eye contact with anyone.
Like don't look at me, whether you like it or don't.
I think it's a weird concept though, because I don't like just sitting around and listening to my stuff unless there's a purpose. Like the listening party was cool because we had a purpose, but like just having something come on at the bar, like it's kind of like, oh man, what do I do? But at the same time, I want nothing more than to play my music for people, but like I want to play it live. I want to perform it. But there's kind of this weird thing of like, I know I want you guys to listen to it. I just don't want you to listen to it while I'm here.
Yeah. Don't listen to it I'm going to go hide in the closet.
Do it in your own privacy. Please.
No, I get that. And it's like cool to hear that an artist, at the caliber of Benny Blanco also feels the same way, just kind of like, vulnerable when you're.
Boom, you literally just said the word I was going to say. I think at our core, anyone that's any form of entertainment, whether it's musicians, artists, producers, writers, people in radio even, there's this vulnerability mixed with insecurity.
Right.
That weirdly enough pushes us to be great, because that insecurity keeps us pushing for this perfection that doesn't fucking exist. Yet in our minds, we keep going for it. I spoke to an artist recently who said that one of the best things are deadlines. Because if he didn't have a deadline for his music to send it into the label or whatever, he would never send it in, because he would constantly listen to it on Monday, think it's perfect, Tuesday fucking hate it, Wednesday make a little turn, and the people that are listening to it would not pick up on anything Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
That's it.
Yeah, that's something we had to like get into that mind space of like, you gotta let it go. At some point, you gotta be okay with it. Let it go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the vulnerability side of it too, like there's a weird side of making music and making art, I think in general, that like if I'm capable of doing it in my mind, then anyone's capable of doing it. So like, what is it that I'm making that's really special? Like I know that there is something special because I'm the only one that makes it. But if I can do it, then I think I'm like, well, then you can do it too, right? Because like I'm not special. So I think that it's kind of weird, even like as Benny Blanco, like, you know, he's on top of the world, but he's still just a dude making art and probably going like, shit, man, if I can do this, then fucking you can do this too. Like, what's the difference? So I think that vulnerability is kind of where that stems from for me too.
And art is subjective. So like you have to
That
be,
too.
you know, people are gonna hate what you do. And then other people are gonna love it. And you just have to be okay with that. You have to remind yourself of that constantly. Like, you know, we create art and then we're like, all right, everyone, judge me.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it's like the Pikachu meme of like, why did they judge me?
Yeah.
You know?
So Ilana, tell us about Cali Kinda Love.
Cali Kinda Love is 6 songs that are all feel good music. They're not necessarily always talking about a feel good subject, but the structure and the melodies, everything is for you to like drive to the beach. You know, it's very summer. It's very, you know, let loose and dance. Like this whole project was very much my therapy and my escape during the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, this world is dark and sad and scary, and there's a lot of, you know, bad things. And I think a lot of people have, you know, just with everything that's been going on in the world, you know, there's a lot of sad songs and a lot of people are just kind of sad and down. And I'm like, I need to just like transport to another place, and I need to be on the dance floor, and I need to feel good, and I need to just like shake my butt in the mirror, and I need the music to do that too. So I created it. So yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a feel-good project, and it's something that like, it's nostalgic. It's like very, you know, I have a lot of 90s inspiration, but I also have a lot of 70s inspiration when it comes to funk and Motown and 90s R&B and pop music. So there's little hints of that in there. Yeah.
Alex, about Antisocial Person.
That, it's funny because I listened through it right before it came out for like the last time, and I was like, all right, what is this? And and I realized that like my last project was definitely a departure from things I had done, but still reminiscent of like Botox, that DJ duo that I was in. Is that the best way to call it? A DJ duo?
Yeah.
Fine. But it was sort of a departure from Botox, but very reminiscent of it. It was written, honestly, I think 80% of the songs on that last project were written with Johan, who was my band partner in Botox. So it just sort of was like an extension of it, even though it was a departure. It's kind of cool because as you go through the songs, the first song, Antisocial Person, is actually still kind of in that vein of like the Swedish pop kind of like, it's sort of this moment of like me still holding on. And then as you go through the album, it's sort of further and further from that dance kind of pop thing and sort of back toward the singer-songwriter thing. Like Parakeets, we wrote in the backyard. Her mom wrote the second verse. I produced it out by myself. We got it mixed by a buddy. Like it was just a very homegrown, play the guitar, throw some piano on it.
Yeah.
And it's funny to listen through it as the person that created the project and then put the set list together, because it really is an evolution of like, okay, we're leaving the Botox sound behind and then we're going to kind of move away from it. But it's a slow roll as we get to Parakeets. I don't know. It's this project of songs that I wanted to hear, you know?
And you guys are going out on tour, correct?
Yeah. We leave
Europe.
Friday for Europe, and then we've got a few shows booked over there.
It's crazy.
What's the most exciting part of performing and scariest part of performing? And I'll start with you, Ilana.
The most exciting part is connecting with audiences. I mean, we went so long without being able to play shows, and it was kind of at the time when I was gearing up to play shows. Like there was this tweet that did not age well that I was like, more shows 2020. Like, I'm going to see you all year. And then it was just like, oh, shoot. But yeah, so I'm excited to just get back out and like connect with people. I love being on the stage. I love entertaining people and like, again, being that escape, like allowing people to come together and feel good and dance. The most nerve-wracking thing is I'm incorporating some new instruments and new things that I haven't played before. The technical side of things is a little scary for me. Just I'm playing a beat pad and I'm bringing my bass with me to Europe. So it'll be fun. It's just, you know, doing something new on stage is always a little nerve-wracking.
Hey man, that back line gets fucked up. Who knows what happens?
Right.
The show must go on.
What are you most excited about and nervous about?
I mean, like for every show, there's a moment right before you walk up onto the stage that I think is the culmination of both of those emotions. It's the perfect moment of like excited and nervous. right before you walk up there, because it's like, am I really going to do that? Like, really? Like, I'm doing this? Who's driving? I'm driving? You know, it's like, whoa. But then also too, you're like, fuck yeah, let me do this. Get me the fuck up there, dude. I can't wait. So it's sort of this moment of which part of your psyche wins. Do you actually walk on the stage, or do you walk away going like, oh man, I can't? And so far, I've never walked away. So far, I've walked up, and I'm just excited to like get on a stage.
And then once you're on there,
once you're on there, it's like you're in your living room. Yeah. It's a totally calm feeling. But right before you walk up, you want to poop and puke all at the same time.
That's accurate.
Once you're on stage, that 35-minute set feels like 17 seconds.
Oh, if that. Like I get to the last song and I'm like,
you always go, wait, I want to keep going. You know?
Sure there's not more time? I don't know any more songs, but I can figure something out on the fly.
All of a sudden you decide, I want to start a fucking stand-up routine so that I don't leave this stage.
You know what I've learned is that a kind of funny comedian is like not really funny, but a kind of funny musician is fucking hilarious. So like I lean way into that, into it.
I realized that I went to see John Mayer, and he just talks in between every single song, it feels like. And it might be like 20 seconds. And just the way it's very dry, but you know, he's kidding. Like I sat there, and I will be very honest, it felt like 1 2-hour long song, except for Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. Blended together for me. I ain't gonna front. I'm not the biggest John Mayer fan.
I can understand that.
But he like totally like grabbed me in when he was just kind of talking and waiting for the car to tune up. And he's like, yeah, the last time I was here, and telling a story 37
he's a funny dude.
Yeah. Well, honestly, he and Jason Mraz, their live shows are very much that. It's not, there's no like, I mean, it's rehearsed, but like the talking between is always very much like situational and things that have happened in that city or whatever's going on. And those two dudes are like my musical mecca. Like those are the reason I picked up a guitar and play what I play and do what I do. So it's funny that you say John Mayer had that vibe, because like I very much base my live show feel. I'm like, yo, I just want it to feel like a Mayer show or a Mraz show. I want it to be like, we're chilling, I'm telling jokes, we're hanging out. I might mess something up. I might have to tune. It doesn't matter, because this is live and it's music and it's not, you know, life or death. I don't know. That's cool that was sort of where your brain went. So.
Which leads me to my final question before we get out of here, because it is the Dunkin Lounge. You did mention two artists that you're a fan of, so I will start with you, Alex. If you had to sit at a Dunkin with any artist, dead or alive, for an hour to just sit there and have some coffee, have some donuts, have some minis, who would you like to sit with?
Man, it's such a tough question. Because so like for the comedy sake of things, I really think that sitting down with Larry David for a couple hours and like seeing what he has to say about the things happening around him, like that would be a great lunch. But like for a musical artist, it's got to be Paul McCartney, dude. Like it's always kind of been the Beatles for me. Abbey Road was my first album, but then I just saw Paul live on this last tour that he did. Blew my mind. And then watching the Let Go documentary, I was like, or Let Go, the Get Back documentary, I was like, dude, me and Paul would be bros. Like we grew up in Liverpool together. So I think that it would have to be Paul McCartney.
What about you, ILana?
You see me over here just like racking my brain. Because when you ask that question, there's one that jumps into my head, and it always jumps into my head, and that's Aretha Franklin. And I think it's because the first time I fell in love with music, it was listening to Aretha Franklin and Otis Redding. And I think it was just, I know, but I think Aretha just, you know, when you say the dead or alive thing, it's like, I always had this thought that I would like have the opportunity to have a conversation with her and just be like, oh man, thank you for making me fall in love with music and like for your voice, like, you know, changing my life. So I think I have to go with Aretha. Yeah, she's just such a legend, an icon. And
by the way, I have a question to many different artists. I have never had anyone say Larry David. So that's the first. I'm not.
I'm shocked.
Dude,
I'm shocked.
No, you're not. Don't lie. You're not shocked. I mean, you call me. You say that I'm like a little Larry David all the time.
Yeah, you are. But I wouldn't expect that to be the person you go to Dunkin' Donuts.
I would love to go to Dunkin' Donuts with him. I can't imagine what he would say.
He complain about everything.
He would complain about everything anywhere.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Larry David is like on paper you think it would be entertaining, but really break it down, and if you're really a fan of Seinfeld and Curb and you watch everything, I think within like 8 minutes, you'd be like, this is miserable.
See, I think the problem is, and where maybe we differentiate, is that I think that I'm a bit of a curmudgeon in the same sense that he is.
They bond over like the flimsy napkins or something.
Or like, yeah.
Can you believe this?
The table's a little wobbly. You know, like, not that Dunkin' tables are wobbly. They're great. I've been to many and I love them all.
There you go. One more time, we appreciate you two for coming on, Alex and ILana. How can people stay in touch with you on social media, by the way?
Man, hit me up on Instagram, Alex Kinsey. That's, you know, I'm always there. What else are we doing these days other than being on Instagram?
True.
Yep. All my handles are at ILana Armida, or you can go to ILanaArmida.com and just link out to my music and my social media.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having us, Josh. This was awesome.
Hey, it's all love. I appreciate. Good luck on that European tour. Have fun. Good luck with everything moving forward in 2022 and beyond. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We're about to go get some Dunkin' right now.
Yeah.
On the street. So.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. You got me sweet. You sugar coat. It makes me weak, but it don't show.
It don't show. It's a sticky situation, boy. You're turning me on. Don't overcomplicate it. I know just what you want. Let's take this conversation to the tip of my tongue. Boy, you're turning me on. 'Cause everything you do is so smooth. That's my bread and butter. Cheap perfume. She got it from her mother. Bread and butter.
Bread and butter, bread and butter, bread and butter, bread and butter. Sweet.
Honeycomb got me going wild for you, please.
Keep me buzzing. I love when I call you queen.
And I know you got me head over my feet.
It don't show.
It's a sticky situation, boy. You're turning me on.
Turning
Don't
me on.
overcomplicate it. I know just what you want. Let's take this conversation to the tip of my tongue. Boy, you're turning me on. 'Cause everything you do is so smooth. That's my bread and butter. Yeah, yeah. Cheap perfume. She got it from her mother. Bread and butter. It's a sticky situation, boy. You're turning me on. Don't overcomplicate it. I know just what you want. Let's take this conversation to the tip of my tongue. Boy, you're turning me on. 'Cause everything you do is so smooth. That's my bread and butter. No, yeah. Cheap perfume. She got it from her mother. Bread and butter. Ooh, I'm so naughty. Hey, I'm so naughty. I put your number in my phone. I knew I wanted you alone. Cinematic, ooh, this is magic. I'm from a different fabric. I gotta have it. Wanna go and let you leave, but keep doing the thing you do to me. And I could see this thing going strong all night. Ooh, I'm so naughty, talking dirty in the mirror. I got you on my brain, but my vision could be clearer. I see us in the middle of another California kind of love. Ooh, I'm so naughty, talking dirty on the phone. Don't keep me waiting all night long. Entertaining, this game we're playing. No hesitating, please don't keep me waiting. If you ever wanna go, I'll let you leave, but keep doing the thing you do to me. And I could see this thing going strong all night long. Yeah. been slow. Yeah, you put your right hand on my left hip. Pull me in close, baby, then we take a dip. He like, you like to dance? I'm like, yeah. We take it to the floor, cause we really don't care. You could take my hand, baby. I look back at it, post it on the gram. We could kick it like a bad habit. I could be a Jessica, maybe you could be my Raja. If you hear me now, make it loud, baby, sing it with me like, woo! So naughty, talking dirty. I got you on my brain, yeah. Oh, California kind of love. Hey, ooh, I'm so naughty. I got you on my brain, but my vision could be clear. I see us in the middle of another California kind of love.
In my head, you were drinking, he was touching like I used to. In my head, the party's ending, you were getting high in his room. Now I'm seeing red, I'm feeling like I lost all of my friends. I can't believe we're doing this again. How could you bury us and leave me dead? No, oh my God, I've been falling on my own. Oh my God, waiting for you to come home. Tell me something that'll make it better. Let me down quick if it's not forever. Oh my God, I've been falling on my own. In my head, summer's over, it's getting colder. Give me closure. In my head, you got sober, you screwed me over. I don't know her. Now I'm seeing red. I'm feeling like I lost all of my friends. I can't believe we're doing this again. How could you bury us and leave me dead? No, oh my God, I've been falling on my own. Oh my God, waiting for you to come home. Tell me something that'll make it better. Let me down quick if it's not forever. Oh my God, I've been falling on my own. Oh my God, I've been falling on my own. Oh my God, waiting for you to come home. Tell me something that'll make it better. Let me down quick if it's not forever. Oh my God, I've been falling on my own.
To see more videos like this, check out DunkinLatteLounge.com. And if you're posting on social, use the hashtag Dunkin Latte Lounge.